Hey guys, so it's been spill my coffee. It's been a really long time since I've just sat down and just talked about life in general and just like updates and things that are on my mind and everything else. So I wanted to do that. This is the other side. You guys usually see me record like facing this way. Yeah. So the corner that's right here is where that orchid is and where I've been recording a lot at, and I really like that space. And I really like the way that our room looks as a whole. It's actually my favorite space in the house. Like, I love it. Combined, it just worked out really well for us. Except for that wall. You see that wall? It's like red and it looks horrible. I actually painted a room in my house before I had Deacon. We bought that house in 2005, I think. So 11 years ago, that color. So I see that color and I just feel like it's outdated. And I know in general, like, it's not like an outdated color, but for me, it's outdated. And it reminds me of like my old house, and it's just kind of like, ugh. So anyways, I want to paint it. You guys know what my comforter looks like, and like my pillow set up, and I'm sitting on like a gray storage futon or gray storage bed. I'll just show you, okay? How about that? So you guys can get the whole like idea. See, that's what it is. Like our ironing board. Yep, that's nice too, huh? So anyways, I want to paint the wall. So we went to Home Depot. I want to drink my coffee too. It's 12 o'clock and I'm just now getting around having a chance to drink coffee. Let's see. So we went to Home Depot and we got all sorts of blues, and then I narrowed it down to these ones. And the reason I did this is because I want to pull from the comforter. I don't want to have the room be too girly. I want it to match what we kind of already have going. Just kind of blend it all together. So this is the blue that I think I've decided on. If you guys have any other suggestions, I would love to hear them, but I'm curious like what you guys think. So this is the one. It's called Thundercloud. And it is this one right here. I love this one. Gosh, it almost looks purple, and that's my fear, is having something go purple on me. Because if you guys, well, maybe not. If you remember that wall that I had, these were the other ones I liked. This one, the wall that I had behind my bedroom, this one, in my old house, and I think it was this one down here. Maybe, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let's get this actually. So these are the four. This one, no. None of those. I've ruled that one out. So these are the four that I was considering. Gosh, that really almost does look a little purple, doesn't it? Whereas this one looks a little more gray. Maybe this one. The lighting. It's so funny how lighting changes everything. Let me go closer to the camera. See? In the video, it almost looks purple. That may have just ruled. I was gonna go and get that paint this weekend, and now I'm thinking it looks purple. So I'm not gonna buy paint until you guys tell me what you think. So let's name this A, B, and C. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. So A, B, C. Yep. Wow, that is crazy. Yeah. So anyways, those are like the. Oh, hang on. And there's a big old stain on my sweatshirt, which. See, so now it's, and I love this thing, so now it's like an inside sweatshirt, unfortunately. Oh, that is totally tripping me out. I'm just afraid because I feel like that gray wall in my old house kind of looked a little purple, and I know that gray has a tendency to look purple. They do this every time. They just hear me talk, and they do it during story time at night too. So yeah, oh my goodness gracious, we picked out a lot. I mean, I feel bad. He's like, just grab the blue sample book. I'm like, no, because it's not, they're all different. Like, you really need all those? I'm like, yes, they're all different. So I want to actually pull, and the reason that I picked this one, I told you this is gonna be like a chatty video, you guys can get everything that's on my mind, is because it matches the comforter. So now I'm wondering, it's like kind of like a periwinkle color, so now I'm wondering if that's more in the comforter. Let me know. Yeah, so anyways, that's something that's like my next like big to do, is this wall, just because for some reason it bothers me. There's other things that have higher priority, but this is like the first thing that I want to do. I still have not, I'm like mostly unpacked, but the garage, that's where the being mostly unpacked and completely unpacked, that's where that line is the garage. So we need to kind of reconfigure the garage. And last weekend or the weekend before, he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go out and do the garage now. And I was like, don't you want me to help? He's like, didn't you say that was the man's job? And I'm like, okay. If you say so. Like, we kind of agreed, like, inside's mine and outside's his, and yeah, and it's like my ideal, but I mean, we do both. Like, he does, you know, stuff around the house just as I do stuff outside, so nothing new there. But it was kind of like, okay, you're really like clean the garage? Like, what? That was volunteer? You're crazy. I think I ended up talking him out of it and we did something else. But anyway, so last 2 weeks I watched my friend's house, and I only came back middle of this week to my house. So I have a rock solid like 10 loads of laundry for 2 weeks. And I have, it's more than that. It's like 15 because now it's been like 3 days too. And there's towels and there's linens and it's just so much stuff. So this weekend I'm playing catch up. And I've been playing catch up with work the last 3 days. Things have been really, really busy for me there, which is why, like, my YouTube videos, my laptop's not working. So I couldn't take my laptop over, and she's like, why don't you just bring your desktop over? And it's like, I just don't want to transport that. So I would like be at her house all day and then like come back to my house for 3 hours and then like go back to her house to stay the night. And it was nuts. It was crazy, like insane. It worked out well though, you know, it was fine, and I'll totally do it again. It's worth it to be able to cover for one another, but it was definitely a busy time. And then I took on her daycare kids too. So that was interesting. I haven't watched a 5-month-old baby since Drake was 5 months old. So that was really, different. Not in a bad way. He was a really good baby. And I told my friend, I texted her and I was like, you know, she's like, is everything going good? I was like, so, or everything gonna be okay? Or is everything, whatever. And I said, so long as he doesn't give me baby fever, I'm good. And no, I only got pink eye. I got a little bit of pink eye, which is my bad. But yeah, and she's like, oh, don't worry, her other daughter, she'll take care of that for you. Oh, and she did. She's a handful. She's like Drake. It was like having 2 Drakes, which is a lot to handle. Speaking of Drake, we went and we toured preschools again. Yay! I'm so excited. When I was out of town, his stepmom and dad had him, and on Monday, so they had him their day and then an extra day, and it worked out really well. I'm so thankful for that and grateful for that, by the way. But they had to drop her kids off at school and then Deacon off at school, and Drake's like, I don't have a school. And her daughter was like, well, you're a baby then because you don't have a school. Switch flipped, and he's like, Mom, I need to go to school. Well, we had toured schools a few weeks prior, and we went to this one, and I thought it was amazing. It was such a cool setup. It wasn't like a classroom type setting. It was there was like a dozen different rooms, and every 30 minutes the kids rotate throughout the school. And there was like 3 classes that rotate. You know, they're never like together, but they just rotate through the school. There's like a library with like a cool loft and like climbing stuff and jungle stuff. And then there's like a music room with like real working pianos and guitars and like real instruments. And then there's a sensory room with like all sensory vents and, you know, crazy cool stuff in there. And then it just like goes through the school all the way around, and it was just amazing. And I'm like, what'd you think? Like thinking like this place is unreal. And he's like, it was okay, but I think we need to look at other places. And that's when I'm just like, you need to go to school. He needs to go to school like ASAP. So he is gonna start preschool 2 days a week. We actually toured, it was a Wednesday. We went and looked at 6 different preschools, and oh my gosh, he's so Drake is he's just very unique child. I love him dearly, and I love his personality, and I'm so proud to be his mom. But he is something else. So we're like touring these preschools, and he's like, hi, my name's Drake. I would like to look at your school. And he would go and he'd like tour the school, and they'd be at the end, they'd be like, well, what'd you think of the school, Drake? And he would, you know, some of them he was like, you know, it was okay, like, we're gonna think about it. And then other schools he was like, I did not like your school, and I do not want to come here. And I'm just like, like filter. And then there's me who's also thinking the same thing. I'm like, there's no way we'd ever come here. But then you know, Drake says it, and I'm just like, well, thank you so much for your time, I really appreciate it, you know, we'll be in touch. Kids just don't have that filter, and it's I don't think of it as being rude necessarily, but honest, and I think that's a good trait. It's just one that, at least in our culture, we're not used to being like having somebody be so upfront about something like that. And it was kind of shocking. For at least for me, they were like looking at me like, okay. So we finally did agree on one, and I enrolled him yesterday, so he'll be starting. And next year, because he doesn't go to kindergarten next year, we missed the cutoff barely. We're gonna go to the preschool that I had taken Deacon to, which was that Montessori school that I really liked. So we'll be going there next year. But this year we need something to kind of fill the gap for the remainder of the year. And we found something that was pretty amazing, and he's really excited. He's like, can we go buy my lunchbox now? And I want my backpack, and I want to bring my backpack. It's just like, oh my gosh, he's so stinking adorable. Now my coffee's like totally getting cold. So, yeah, we're going to start preschool, and that's going to be fabuloso because I'm going to have 2 days a week to get work done, and I'm just looking really forward to it. Really forward to it. I've been so busy lately that I've been working really late into the night, and it'll be nice to be able to kind of like pull all that night time and put it back towards like actually working during the day. So that's going to be amazing. It's going to be so amazing. But this weekend, my boyfriend has to work this weekend. I have to work this weekend. It's going to kind of just be a crappy weekend. Tonight, we started baseball. So that's another thing that's new. They're still in swimming lessons through the end of the month. And then I'm going to cancel swimming and we're just going to do baseball. Although I just found out about a karate program that is insanely affordable. And baseball, compared to football, somebody asked if Deacon's still playing football. It's not season. It's not football season. It's baseball season. But it's super duper affordable, and baseball practices are twice a week, whereas football practices are like 5 days a week. So it's like, we could totally do this karate deal and have a blast with that. For me, swimming's expensive, and I'm ready to cut that bill. But, it was a great transitional program. Both of my kids can already swim, so it wasn't like, they're not like obviously amazing swimmers. They're not super strong swimmers. So I was just hoping to increase their abilities. And Deacon has really grown a lot from the program. He is full on like, like the big arm, freestyle big arm, and then like turning and like breathing to the side. I'm pretty sure I can't even do that. And then like continuing on, and like he's swimming like a champ. And then there's Drake, who they went in my opinion, kind of at the same level. If you guys watched that video I posted last summer of both of them swimming, they learned how to swim on within a day of each other. And Drake would just cruise around the pool, and now he's doing some like bigger arms, but that's it. And I'm like, you guys have been in this program now for months, and Deacon is like strides. And granted, he's older, he's stronger, he's a little, he knows more, and he's able to comprehend and practice more, but I'm kind of just like, I was expecting a little more. Like, I was expecting a little more out of Drake. And I don't know if it's because he's tiny or if it's because he's really young to be swimming the way that he can swim or what, but I'm ready for him to kind of just like move on. Like, move on to something else. We'll do swimming again. It's expensive. The school that they're in is expensive, but it's kind of one of those like life skill type deals where it's like you can't put a price on your child being able to swim. But then again, you can. And here our public pools are really expensive to go to. And we just need summer and the lake and just throw them in the lake and let them go. Practice swimming, kids. That's what we need. So we're going to get back into that. I'm looking really forward to it. I'm looking forward to summer. I wish I could be as active as I was in the past. Like fitness wise, it's been really hard lately, but I got to get back into that. I did really good before the move, and since we've moved, it's been unpacking, or it's been crazy working, just crazier than it's ever been, or it's been businessy, like that business trip, or I was watching my friend's house. It's just like, I know those are all technically excuses, but the lack of routine, I think, is the part that is the most difficult, is that. So I need to get back into that, back into a good routine. That's key. That has to happen. So that, and reevaluating my budget, and getting all of that back in line, and So yeah, really routine schedule, especially with Drake starting school. That's going to completely change my schedule. So that'll be a little bit different. Yep, lots. Just so much is going on. It's crazy. It's all good. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, and then my other question for you guys is, what should we put above the bed? So as you know, we've got these like tall pillows. I think these are those big square ones, are like the European pillows or whatever. What should we put above? So the wall will be the blue gray color. And so if you have like a good blue gray color, let me know. So the wall will be that color. And then something above the bed. We figured we'd paint our own thing. So we've started this like little painting hobby. It's really kind of cute. So instead of like going out or whatever, we've been like, you know, whenever we have a night, we haven't in a few weeks. It's only happened twice. I shared a picture on Instagram the first night we did it, but we enjoy like sitting down, glass of wine, painting, eating dinner, just enjoying. It's just so nice to like just kind of get into it. It's amazing. We're really bad. Our paintings are horrible, but we're trying. We're trying. So anyways, I think that's it. If you guys have any fun plans this weekend, I'd love to know. Please voice your opinion on the color situation and anything else. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.